This week on Engage the Sage.
Hi everyone, I'm Don Saucier. Welcome to this week's episode of Engage the Sage. In our last video, I talked about the importance of infusing empathy into your courses through an overarching empathetic course design perspective. And I talked about how infusing empathy in our courses are going to make our courses better for us to teach and better for our students to learn in. Now, in that last video, I just talked about the overall empathetic course design perspective. I talked about the importance of infusing empathy, but I didn't really tell you how. And I promised I would do so in a future video. And this is one of those future videos. I will be discussing 3 explicit statements that you can make in your syllabi to infuse empathy in your courses to improve the teaching and learning experiences for you and for your students. Now, these statements are relevant during a global pandemic, but they're always relevant. And one of the things that I want us to take forward is making empathy an explicit component of our courses, even when the pandemic is over. I think empathy is and always will be important in teaching and learning. I'm going to describe to you 3 specific syllabus statements that I use in my classes and invite you to incorporate them into your classes to infuse empathy into your courses. The 3 statements I'm going to talk about is a statement on empathy, a statement on respect for diversity, and a statement on mental health. In the description of our video, I'm going to include the text of the statements that I use in my syllabi, so you can use them in your syllabi or adapt them to use in your courses. The first statement that I use to infuse empathy into my syllabi is an empathy statement. And I call it an empathy statement. You can call it an empathy statement, you can call it a humanity statement, you can call it a caring statement. But the first way that I explicitly infuse empathy into my courses is by telling my students that empathy is part of my courses. The empathy statement that I use in my courses reads, "Things are different now during the COVID-19 pandemic than they were. This is very real for all of us. The social distancing and transition to remote education is difficult, and frankly, it sucks. We are teaching differently and under different circumstances than we were, and you are learning differently and under different circumstances than you were. Please keep connected with us. If you have difficulty with the course content, the assignments, the deadlines, etc., please reach out and we will try to work with you the best we can. We want you to learn and we want you to succeed. We want you to have a wonderful experience learning in our class with us. We should be creating physical distance right now, not social distance. We are here for you." What I'm trying to do in that statement, I'm trying to let my students know that I value their experiences and I value their education. And if they need me, they can reach out to me and I will do my best to provide for them. The second statement that I use in my syllabi to promote empathy in my classes is what we call the respect for diversity statement. Now, this is a statement that I developed with my graduate teaching assistant, Noah Renken, and we looked at a lot of different statements like this at a lot of syllabi at a lot of different institutions across the country. And this is what we came up with. The respect for diversity statement in my class reads, "It is our intention to create a learning environment that is inclusive and supportive of students from all diverse backgrounds and perspectives at my university. The course content is intended to be respectful of diversity with respects to race, ethnicity, nationality, disability, socioeconomic status, immigration status, gender identity, sexuality, religion, and culture. We will respect the diversity brought by each student to this course. Your input as a student is valued. Please notify the instructor and/or the teaching assistant about ways in which we can improve the effectiveness of this course for you personally or for other students in our course." What our respect for diversity statement is letting our students know is that we care and value all of them, that all of them belong in my course, and that all of them I am indebted and invested in helping to learn. The third syllabus statement that I use to infuse empathy into my courses is a statement on mental health. And the mental health statement that I use in my course is one that was provided to me by my university. And I use this in my classes. I think it's really important to use this in our classes to normalize and destigmatize mental health issues and concerns that we and our students face. The mental health statement that I use on my syllabus reads, "Your mental health and good relationships are vital to your overall well-being. Symptoms of mental health issues may include excessive sadness or worry, thoughts of death or self-harm, inability to concentrate, lack of motivation, substance abuse. Although problems can occur anytime for anyone, you should pay extra attention to your mental health if you are feeling academic or financial stress, discrimination, or have experienced a traumatic event such as the loss of a friend or family member, sexual assault, or other physical or emotional abuse. If you are struggling with these issues, do not wait to seek assistance. And then my statement goes on to give them information, links, and phone numbers to offices on my campus that will help them. Offices including counseling services at my university, health center at my university, the Office of Student Life at my university, etc. What I want my students to know is that if they are going through something, they don't have to do that alone. That this is something that we will take seriously and help them receive the assistance that they need to get back to good. And good may look a lot of different ways, but what I'm trying to let my students know with this statement, and what my university is trying to let students know with this statement, is that we care about you and we care about your mental health. I sincerely hope that you consider developing and using an empathetic course design perspective in all of your courses. And I really recommend that you develop explicit syllabus statements like the ones that I've shared with you on mental health, on respect for diversity, and on empathy. And I think using empathy as the specific word is a great way to let them explicitly know that empathy is infused in our classes to make the teaching and learning experiences for you and for your students better and more successful. In the comments below, I would love to hear about how you are infusing empathy into the syllabi that you create for your students, and I'd love to hear how you're using or adapting the syllabi statements that I've provided in your own courses. In our videos coming up, we're going to talk about more ways to infuse empathy in your courses, including how you can infuse empathy into your course structure, into your course policies, and into your assignments and assessments. Thank you for watching this episode of Engage the Sage. Please like, subscribe, sign up for notifications, share us on social media, and I'll see you next time on Engage the Sage.